welcome back to my channel. If you're a regular subscriber, thank you ever so much for subscribing and coming back to enjoy my videos. If you're new to my channel, thank you for coming to have a look, and if you feel like it, please subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, little bell icon. Leave a like and a comment if you wish. Everything helps keep my channel growing. Now, it's a little bit different because I'm trying a different way of recording. I've got my camera set up, which hopefully is recording properly. I've also got my phone connected to my headset for the sound. Never tried it before, so we'll see how it works. Really hoping it works well. I'm looking at getting a microphone connected to my camera, which hasn't worked just yet, but we'll hopefully get around to that shortly. Now, apart from a bit of a test on the audio setup and camera setup for today, main reason for today's video is a review of this here bike what I is riding, which is my own personal bike. It's a 2017 BMW R1200r Sport. Now, I've owned this bike for about 4 months. I put near enough 7,000 miles on it. One of the trips I've done on it was to go to Land's End from Cardiff and back in a day. There's 487 miles in one day. And in places in some of the worst rain I've ridden in for a long time. And the bike performed beautifully. Surprisingly comfortable for that long distance. But yeah, it worked. So I thought I'd do a review of this here bike. I'll do a stop somewhere to have a bit of a walk around, give a bit more on the technical blurb. And of course, as always, everything is based on just my opinions of the bike on my ownership. So not necessarily fact, but just what I think. So please feel free to check facts and figures yourself before you consider buying one or whatever. So anyway, generally speaking, great bike, rides really nicely, boxer twin. As you can see, it's not got the TFT dash that the newer models have. I actually prefer this model. It's got rider modes, electronic suspension that can be adjusted on the fly. Currently I'm in road mode, which is the more comfortable, softer setting. If I'm going to be a bit more enthusiastic, I put it into dynamic mode, and it stiffens up the suspension quite a bit. But you do feel the potholes in dynamic mode. It also has fitted a quick shifter and blipper, or what BMW call their Gear Assist or Gear Assist Pro. Works well. Not so much at slower speeds, low revs. It tends to be a little bit clunky. Higher revs, it works quite nicely. Not as smooth as some bikes I expect, but this is the first one I've had a quick shifter on. There you go. So I can't really compare it to anything else. Going down the box, see, lovely. I do tend to blip the throttle very, very slightly on the down change just to smooth out the gear change a little. That's my choice. Loads of torque in the engine, so you don't need a lot of revs to get this thing moving. What else we got? Obviously ABS, traction control. This one is actually fitted with heated grips with 2 levels of heat on them. What else we got? Oh yeah, this bike's fitted with cruise control. Brilliant idea. Very useful, especially on the motorway with the average speed cameras. Just ride to the correct speed limit, which around here is 50 miles an hour. Switch on your cruise control, and away you go. Job done. Now, this particular bike came with these Handlebar Risers. They bring the bars backing up a little bit, which is very comfortable for me. I find them too low without them. Now, this accounts for the fact that I am 5'6". I've got a 30-inch inside leg, just so you got an idea. I do find the foot pegs a little bit higher than I would have liked. or they need to go back a tiny bit to be completely comfortable for me. Obviously it changes depending on who you are, your heights and everything. Well, yeah, I get used to them, I'm happy with them as they are. As far as put my feet down, I'm almost flat-footed on the floor. I believe it's a 31-inch seat height, officially. And the bike weighs something like 235 kilos. It's not too heavy pushing it around when you're not riding it either. Handling is amazing, really good. Comfort-wise, really good. My bike's fitted with a aftermarket Akrapovic or a Kropovic, or however you pronounce it, exhaust can with a removable baffle, so it does sound rather nice. And when you change down, apparently it was designed this way by BMW, you get a bit of a pop and a bang through the exhaust on the overrun. When you're changing up the gears, it tends to pop a little, and obviously when you come down, it blips the throttle for you as you change down if you're using the blipper. So it does sound rather nice. If you buy a bike with a aftermarket can, or technically aftermarket can, fitted from the factory brand new, as far as I can tell, the exhaust sounds exactly the same as a standard pipe, because they have to pass the same emissions. So my advice is, if you want a nice can on it, buy a bike with a standard can and fit your own aftermarket one, so you can have a removable baffle job like I have. So I was lucky, mine came with the bike. I'm hoping my microphone works, so I might plug it into the phone. And this is a bike I'm reviewing, my own personal 2017 BMW R1200r Sport. As you can see, naked, because that's what I preferred, boxer twin, hence named for those who don't know, because the cylinder heads looks like boxing gloves. Right, this is 1170cc, 125 horsepower, 125 newton meters of torque, so bucket loads of grunt. Please check all these figures with the internet, because I think I've remembered them correctly. Not guaranteeing it. It's shaft drive with an aftermarket Akrapovic or a Kropovic exhaust can, whatever you call them. Mine's got a removable baffle. As I said in the video, if you buy one with a can already fitted as factory standard, you cannot remove the baffles, and they're basically the same as the stock exhaust on the noise levels. It's a water-cooled engine, hence the radiator on the front, and I strongly recommend you put a grille on that to protect it. Your suspension, upside down forks on the front, one shock rear, all electronically adjustable. There's the shaft drive. Brakes are by Brembo and are really good. All the lights are standard lights, they're not LEDs, headlight or tail lights, I believe the indicators are LEDs, although you do have these daytime running lights which are LED. It's got a switch on here, that one there, which is the adaptable light switch. You can run it with daytime running lights, and then the headlight will come on automatically when you go into tunnels or the light drops. Cruise control, switch it on, set it. You can push the button forwards and backwards to up or down the speed as you're riding. As soon as you touch the brakes, the throttle or the clutch, it shuts off the cruise control. Various trip meters and such like. Right, let's pop her on a minute. Keyless ignition, as you can see. Ta-da! Oh, hello. Info. Fuel lights on. There we are. Loads of info on the dash, and you can alter that depending on what view you want. That's the one I prefer. The trip meter. Over here we have, tells you what suspension setting you're in. In road, it's quite smooth and soft and comfortable. In dynamic, it's very sporty. I only ever use dynamic when I'm riding enthusiastically, should we say. You've got various rider modes. In this case I'm in dynamic, which I've left it in since day one. I don't bother altering it. There's the mode button. There's the heated grips button. It's got two levels. Very hot and hot. Start button, etc. Horn, indicators, pass light, high beam. Nice and simple. Oh, and hazards. Shut that off. It won't switch on or anything if you're too far away from the bike. and it's only a short distance you have to be for the keyless ignition not to work. Yeah, awesome bike. Mine came with the rear hugger fitted. Highly recommend it, because if you get muck on your rear shock, being electronic, they're mega expensive to replace. This one also comes with a centre stand. I believe I said earlier in the video, this frame, the main frame, the engine, transmission, gearbox are identical on all the models as far as I'm aware. Not saying I'm exactly right, so please double check. But on this one, the RS, which is the sports tourer version, and you've got the RT, the full-blown touring bike, very much like the Felicia's, and of course you've got the GS, the famous GS. They all run exactly the same motor, main chassis, final drive. It's the things like the suspension, the wheels, the bodywork is different depending on the model. And obviously different models you buy, like the R Sport, you can spec it up differently. You can have the Wizzy wheel, you can have the built-in sat-nav, you can have a TFT, all sorts you want to throw loads of money at. Also comes with a 12-volt power supply, although you do need an adapter for that. But generally, very nice bike, very comfortable, very easy to ride. Got the, as I said before, the Gear Assist Pro, I think it's called, or quick shifter and blipper to the rest of us, which is really nice, great fun. Mine's fitted, as you can see, I've put a tank bag on it just for convenience. But even the fuel cap is keyless, you don't even need the key for that. The only time you need a key is to take the seat off. And I can assure you there is next to nothing in the way of storage under the seat. Hence tank bag. You can't even get a McDonald's in there. Statutory tail end, you can get tail tidies. They're about 160 quid, so I haven't bothered. Yeah, really nice bike. I'd recommend some sort of engine protection on the cylinders, as mine is. They came with the bike. This one's actually got a carbon fibre headlight shroud, which I'm not fussed on, but the replacement's quite expensive in standard plastic, so I left it well alone. These are the Handlebar Risers, which I did mention as well. They bring the bars backing up a bit, which I personally find a lot more comfortable. They were too low for me, for my height and arm lengths, but up to you what you use, obviously, see what suits you best. And as I said before, the centre of the handlebars is a lot fatter than the standard 22mm ends. So if you're going to mount sat-navs or phones or aftermarket stuff like that, check the diameter to go on that bar if that's where you're mounting it. I do have an adapter which I've taken off at the moment for my phone holder, because mounting your phone up here where you normally put it clouts at the tank bag, so no good at all. It's great with pillions, as you can see, grab rails and rear foot pegs. There we go, that's pretty much it. Any information you really want on this you can find on the internet. The 1200 is not so common anymore, they're more the 1250s, the new shift cam engine, which if I remember correctly is 135 brake horse, 135 Newton meters. Not sure on prices, you have to check with your dealers. Right, let's go and do some more riding. Back in a bit.